I give up. The scorching sun bore down on the dusty streets of Kano, where the air was thick with the scent of roasted groundnuts and the distant hum of traders bargaining in the market square. Among the crowd, Yusuf moved with a slouch posture, his shoulders heavy with burdens unseen by the world around him. Yusuf had always been a dreamer. Born into a poor family in the outskirts of Kano, he was raised with the hope that education would be his escape from the cycle of poverty. His mother, Amina, worked tirelessly as a street vendor, while his father, a retired railway worker, spent his days reminiscing about the Nigeria of old. Despite their struggles, Yusuf excelled in school. He dreamt of becoming an engineer, of designing roads and bridges that would connect people, that would make life easier for those who had to walk miles just to fetch water. But in northern Nigeria, where opportunities were scarce and corruption was a gatekeeper, dreams were fragile things. Just as Yusuf was preparing for his university entrance exams, disaster struck. His mother fell gravely ill, and the little money they had saved for his education was drained by hospital bills. The family's small kiosk was sold to pay for treatment, but it was not enough. Yusuf was forced to drop out of school and take on menial jobs, loading trucks, washing cars, selling sachets of water on the roadside. Each night, as he lay on the thin mattress in their cramped room, he stared at the ceiling and wondered if his dreams were slipping away. One evening, after another exhausting day, he sat by the mosque, watching the world move past him. The words slipped from his lips before he could stop them. I give up. But giving up was not so simple. The hunger in his sister's eyes, the exhaustion in his father's sighs, the helplessness in his mother's weak smile, these things clawed at him, refusing to let him sink into despair. Desperation led him to make a choice he never thought he would consider. He accepted an offer from a wealthy but shadowy businessman, Malam Sani, who promised quick money in exchange for an undisclosed errand. That errand turned out to be smuggling contraband across the border into Niger. Yusuf was terrified, but he saw no other way. His hands shook as he carried the concealed goods past security checkpoints, his heart hammering in his chest. When he returned, he was paid more money than he had ever held in his life. At first, it seemed like a solution. With each trip, the money grew, and his family's suffering lessened. But deep inside, Yusuf knew he was walking a dangerous path. One fateful night, his luck ran out. The police, acting on a tip-off, intercepted their vehicle near the border. Chaos erupted. Gunshots rang through the air. Yusuf ran, his legs burning as he tore through the darkened streets. He didn't make it far before rough hands grabbed him, slamming him to the ground. The days that followed in prison were a blur. The interrogations, the accusations, he could hardly process it. The reality hit when he saw his mother's tear-streaked face through the bars. "This is not my son," she whispered, her voice breaking. "This is not the boy I raised." Yusuf's trial was swift. The judge, a stern woman with knowing eyes, looked at him with something resembling pity. "You are young," she said. "And you are not beyond redemption." Instead of a long sentence, he was given community service and a strict warning. He returned home to a father who barely spoke to him, a mother whose illness had worsened, and a sister who could no longer meet his gaze. The shame was unbearable. He had tried to save his family, but in doing so, he had almost destroyed himself. And so, he made a decision, this time, a different one. With renewed determination, he sought honest work. He apprenticed under a mechanic, learning the trade with patience. The days were long, the pay was little, but this time, he felt something he hadn't in a long time, peace. Years passed. Through hard work, Yusuf built a small repair shop. His mother recovered. His sister went back to school. Life was still tough, but it was honest. One day, as he watched the sunset over the city, he thought back to the moment he had said, "I give up." But he hadn't. He had stumbled, fallen, and nearly lost everything. Yet, he had risen again. For in the end, giving up was never truly an option. Please like, share, comment and subscribe for more captivating stories. African folktales beyond waves.